Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 through 7. Be careful or anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication or a request, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Anxious hearts are unstable. Anxious hearts are fearful. Above everything else, an anxious heart does not trust God as it should. When there is little to no trust within, we tend to exaggerate the smallest of issues in this life. Do I trust you, Jesus? Do I believe that you hear me when I pray? Do I believe that despite what I feel or see, that you are working things out for my good? The year was 2001. I was 18 and had just taken the GED examination. I passed, so I could now skip the 12th grade altogether and focus on college. But where would I go? There were a few options. Oakwood University was presented to me as option number one because someone had pledged to help pay my tuition if I chose to go there. Naturally, I set my heart in that direction, but wisdom spoke to me and said, "You had better pray about that." You ever rush into a decision because it seemed convenient? I have, way too many times. You married out of convenience, chose a job, a city to live in, or a car to drive, all out of convenience. I mean, it seemed to be the best option, right? Or maybe you made your choice on the fear, doubt, or uncertainty that you were feeling. And when you did so, your anxious decision landed you in trouble every time. I asked God for guidance. Lord, if Oakwood is the place, make it clear. If it's not, make that clear as well. And then I lived my life. I kept going to work. I kept up with my chores. I continued reading my Bible. The point here is that while waiting, while being patient, I continued to do what I was already doing. I didn't shut down and become a hermit. I knew that God would interrupt me with the answers that I needed while I faithfully kept up with the responsibilities of life. 2 weeks after the prayer, the answer came. It was a clear and direct no. Oakwood was not the destination. What I did next, in my opinion, was more important than what was done before. I kept praying, and I believed that God would reveal to me His will. I didn't become anxious, fearful, or doubtful that God had heard me. Every day I would step outside, walk to the property line of the 1-acre property where my parents and I lived, and I would seek the Lord's presence under the leaves of one sole tree that had begun growing on the property line. This was 21 years ago. And at that time, this tree was no more than 10 feet tall. Do you see it now? 21 years later? The tall one there in the middle. It has definitely grown in the 2 decades since that time. I have grown with it. Right there, under the leaves of that tree, God answered my prayer 21 years ago. As long as I may live, that tree will serve as a testimony to God's faithfulness. When I visit my parents' property, I make sure to release another prayer under the leaves of that tree. Don't be anxious. Don't be fearful. Don't be intimidated by the magnitude of life's demands. Just pray. Lay it all out before God. Then, live your life and watch the answers come to you. Your faith will grow like that tree. You will too.